Good Sunday afternoon to you guys. I wanted to, I think we're going to change the narrative, guys. I think we're going to change the whole way we do these lives, because I'm starting to realize a lot of you guys are more awake than I thought. And a lot of you guys are realizing that you need to know what's going on politically, economically, real estate wise, stock market, everything, right? You can't just be so one-dimensional and just understand real estate. And a lot of you guys have been hitting me up and say, Chris, I say a lot, just a few. Actually, most of you guys have been like, we love the new content you're putting out. But I'm telling you right now, the whole narrative is going to change on these Facebook Lives. We're going to start doing, what's up, Ed? What's up, Chris? We're going to be more dynamic. We've added some new platforms as far as where we can add people and start doing Facebook Lives together with other guys, and we're gonna change up these lives on Sundays, and it's gonna be everything: politics, business, entrepreneurship, high level mindset, real estate, wholesaling, flipping, mobile home parks. We're gonna get super deep on every topic. I'm sick of talking about real estate, guys. It ain't that complicated, right? We are going to get very dynamic, very diverse, and we're going to give you guys a lot of value, because I'm going to start bringing all of my network on, all of the guys that I know in politics, in business, doctors, all kinds of different people to give you massive value. And we're going to start delivering that to you every Sunday on these Facebook Lives. And it's not just going to be real estate, because there's a lot of lies, there's a lot of deceit, there's a lot of manipulation right now in the economy. And if you don't understand the dynamics of all that, guys, for you haters that telling me, Chris, you shouldn't be talking about politics or what's going on, why the hell shouldn't I? Why the hell shouldn't I be talking about that stuff? If you don't understand what's going on politically, you're going to get played, guys. You're going to get played like a lot of people are. Because there's a lot of lies, there's a lot of deceit, and there's a lot of manipulation. So please share, invite, tag somebody on this, and we'll get started here. Check out that new shirt. How you guys doing? I'm ready to do my live now. I decided I've been watching everybody ride around there, in town by themselves with masks on, and I felt like I need to be doing the same thing when I do these lives, because I don't want to give you guys the COVID, the big C. And I'm just going to stay politically correct and do what everybody else is doing, because I'm seeing other people do it, so I might as well just do it too, right? Right, Patty? I don't want to give Big Mama COVID. Don't be a useful idiot, guys. Don't be a useful idiot. I am sick and tired of riding around all day long and looking at people by themselves wearing a mask. By themselves, guys. By themselves. This is the stupidity that's going on. The fear, the deceit, the manipulation. They're wearing masks by themselves in a car because they're so scared. This is what the mainstream media has done to you guys. This is what I'm talking about, right? And if you don't know how to, maneuver all this, and you don't know the end game of all this, then you can't predict the outcomes of the futures. Once you know the outcome and you can predict what they're trying to accomplish, then you know what they're doing, right? So I'm not saying politically correct anymore. We're going to change all these lives. We're going to start bringing, we got Yardstream downloaded, another platform downloaded on Facebook, to where I can bring people on now and do lives. What's up, Judge? We're going to bring Judge Graham on here soon too, on a live. Some people like that who can give us massive insight into business, entrepreneurship, politics, health, real estate. Because I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm sick of talking about real estate all day, every day when I come on these lives. There's more to life than real estate, right?
Well, you have to be dynamic.
And you got to be dynamic, guys. So we're changing the narrative, right? We're going to change this up. You got to be up to date of what's going on. The craziness that's going on in the world right now directly affects you. If you don't know what's going on and you don't care and you just don't want to pay attention to it, it's like sticking your head in the mud when the world's, your house is on fire, guys. You need to know that the house is on fire, right? So we are going to talk about it. We're going to talk, and we're going to have the hard conversations that nobody wants to talk about. We're going to talk about things that nobody will, because they want to stay politically correct. They want to stay liked. They want to stay admired. They want to keep the money coming in. And listen, I don't have a vested interest. Nobody pays me to do these lives, so I can say what I want, how I want, and how I feel without having that social, how can I put it, veneer of fakeness that a lot of these influencers have on when they're doing these, when they tell you how they feel. They're just telling you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear, and not how they really feel. There's a difference. There are a few people that I really look up to that are actually doing that now. They're telling the truth, but there's a lot of bullshit going on, right? You got all this protesting going on, and we pretty much have a small city-state outside of the U.S., but inside the U.S. now in Seattle, I believe, where they basically started their own little country. We've got a rapper that's a dictator of that, I think, 4 blocks of City Hall in Seattle, and basically said that they're going to set up their own government right there with no cops, nothing. Listen, if you don't see the writing on the wall of what I'm gonna call it Antifa, the Black Lives Matter movement is doing, and the Black Lives Matter movement is actually a bunch of really good people that are trying to get change, but the people they're recording on the, all the media channels are actually paid protesters, guys. I've even watched video outside of the news. You can't get your news from the news, guys, because they're showing you what you want to hear. The Black Lives Matter movement is freaking a bunch of awesome people that really want change. Then there's the paid white protesters, and some black, mostly white, that are paid by George Soros, pretty much burning everything down and are anarchists, right? That are a part of Antifa, that claim to be anti-fascist, but they don't even know what fascism means, right? They're pure fascists. So why is that important to to pay attention to? Because, guys, if this becomes a systemic thing across all of the country, like, and you have a bunch of cells pop up all over the country where they're taking over cities and taking over government, dude, we're gonna have a serious problem. This is why I can't even talk about real estate right now, because I mean, I can to a certain degree, but guys, like, I don't think you understand what's going on right now. This is a playbook out of the Bolshevik Revolution, 1917. This is a playbook out of how to overthrow a country, right? Never let a good crisis go to waste, right? Rahm and Emmanuel said that. I can't see any of the.
Oh, you can't.
I can't see any of the comments. So understand what's going on. You better wake up and tell a friend that the shit on the news is fake. A lot of it's fake. They're manipulating us. And listen, guys, it's taking me some courage to come out here and say this, but I feel obligated, and I feel like I have an ethical obligation to talk, because if I just sit there and like act like everything's great, let's just talk about flipping and real estate and mobile home parks and apartments, I'd be lying to you. Like that this is very, very, very important, what's going on, right?
Well, Joshua had said people wearing masks don't realize that it increases the risk of bacterial infection.
That's exactly right.
Moist environment increases the risk.
What's up, Brandon? What's up, Shannon? Shannon's one of my students. He's a woke up black brother that I really admire. Shannon, I really admire the fact that you coming out and speaking your truth, my brother. It takes massive courage and massive balls, and I can appreciate that, man. You're awesome.
Emmanuel said that those people are fearing. Fear about not getting sponsored. That's why influencers.
Okay. Thank you. See, listen, I don't get paid by sponsors, guys. I don't get paid. I actually have businesses. Like, I have a real estate business. I have a bunch of rentals. I have a consulting business. You guys pay me when you want to know about real estate, but I don't have an agenda, right? I'm not pushing an agenda. I'm pushing the truth. If you can't handle the truth, if you don't like me coming on here and talking the truth, my truth, not your truth, my truth, and you can't handle it, unfriend me. Unlike it, push that unfollow button. I won't even notice you're gone, right? But if this stuff resonates with you, This is the style Facebook Lives we're going to be doing from here on out. I'm tired of not talking about stuff that I feel in my heart should be talked about, because there's a lot of things people aren't saying that they should be saying, and there's a lot of stuff happening in this country that may change the course of this country soon if we don't act and we don't wake a bunch of people up, right? So with that said, you know, you need to know about all this stuff that's going on. You need to know everything that's going on in the country, good, bad, ugly. I mean, I'm buying a bunch of mobile home parks. You got to prepare your business. You got, like right now, like I'm about to buy 2 more mobile home parks, which, by the way, if you're interested in investing with me and partnering up with me, I'm going to be buying up a bunch of mobile home parks, guys. Throughout all this craziness, that has sustained itself the best out of all of my businesses, by far. By far. Passive income has the power right now, right? Because people are still going to pay rent, especially in affordable housing. Affordable housing in a great area is my model, guys. Affordable housing in great areas will make it through all this bullshit. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. No doubt about it. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. They're already talking about Plandemic Part 2. Is coming. Don't think it's not coming, because it's coming. They're talking about it all over TV, radio. Mr. Bill Fence has been talking about it.
You know what you hadn't talked about, but it's really important, is just working on your immune system in that time. Like taking care of your body, learning how to fast, really like taking care of your body so it can withstand the shit like that.
Well, we all been duped, right? The CDC said first is 2 million people are going to die. Then they changed it to 1 million. Then it was 600,000. Then it was 200,000. Shit, it's only 50. Oh, hell, fuck it. It's only going to be 20. How can you fuck up so bad and ruin the world economy? Such gross negligence it's almost inconceivable what they've done to the average entrepreneur, the middle class entrepreneur who's working their ass off to provide for their family, which, let's face it, most of you guys on here are middle class. Most people that are doing stuff that are in the entrepreneur space are middle class. In middle class, I mean, you're probably a millionaire, or you're working on being a millionaire. Upper middle class and upper class are like the elites, right? That's your people that are billionaires. That's your people that are, and I don't say all, a lot of them are in this game of thinking that you're too stupid to think for yourself, and they become almost like a globalist style type of dictator in their own sense. They have so much money they can manipulate economies, manipulate governments, manipulate politicians using money, right? So if you don't understand this and you don't freaking keep up on what's going on, you're gonna get played. Let's call it for what it is. You're gonna get played. I knew this shit was a hoax the first week when they started this shit, because it's like all of a sudden they switched all the media said we're all gonna die, we're all gonna get sick. Like, guys, they've been doing this shit for a long time, right? Long time. Now, with all that said, there's enough doom and gloom. There is gonna be massive opportunities, right? New economies will come out of this, new opportunities, some devastation, look at retail, right? Retail right now is getting slaughtered. Retail's getting slaughtered. I think affordable housing is going to boom like crazy. I think e-commerce is going to boom like crazy. I think anything online, Zoom. Look at Zoom stock right now. Like any stuff like that is going to freaking crush it, right? So you can't be so doom and gloom to think that there's not going to be tons of opportunity, because human beings are going to adapt and change. They're going to adapt and change. Keep me up with the questions, Mama, because I can't see nothing.
Okay, so let's see.
Some good old green tea.
Antifa has hijacked Black Lives Matter.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Hard to focus on anything else when this is going
That's
down.
exactly right, guys. Like, how can you focus if people telling me you need to stop talking about this? Man, fuck you. Like, who are you to tell me what I need to talk about? Like, how the hell, excuse my language, guys, how the hell are you going to tell me that I shouldn't talk about this when the country's going crazy right now and we're being lied to and manipulated and just the most craziest shit is going on, and you expect me not to talk about it? I would be insensitive to just sit here and talk about real estate and how, you know, that real estate is the be all do all right now. Dude, you better get in the know of what's going on. You better wake yourself up. You better take that red pill. You better go meet Morpheus, because you live in the Matrix, guys. You live in the freaking Matrix. You've been swallowing that blue pill of watching network TV, thinking they're telling you the truth. Why would they tell you the truth when they own all the networks? They own all the major corporations. They own all the media, and they own all the banks. You guys that are all, if you watch this and you're freaking one of those communist thugs that are protesting, burning down buildings, where you should be burning down and what you should be freaking protesting is the financial slavery we have in this country. How we borrow money from a private entity called the Federal Reserve, that they digitally print money out of thin air from nothing, backed by nothing, and just borrow or borrow it from nothing, lend it to us at interest. Why isn't the government not giving us, our own personal government, giving us interest-free money, right? Why are they getting it from another part of a banking cartel that's basically a bunch of banksters? That's where you should be protesting. That's the questions you should be asking, guys. We're all in financial slavery. I don't care if you're black, white, purple, green, or blue. We're all trying to get out of the rat race. We're all trying to, you know, gain financial prosperity for ourselves. How the hell are you supposed to do that if they crash the economy intentionally every 10 years and buy up everything with fake money? Right? They sit there, they print fake money out of thin air, crash the economy on purpose, and then buy up real assets that we've created, businesses, real estate, ideas, with fake money. And that's how they steal the wealth, guys. They print fake money. These banksters control and manipulate the economies. They crash the economies on purpose. We work our ass off to build up a real business, a real portfolio of real estate, whatever it may be. And they come in there and buy it up or wreak havoc to the economy. That's the game. That's the game they've been playing for hundreds of years. Read on it. I'm not making this shit up. You're probably like, Chris, you're coming out of left field with all this stuff. I never heard you talk like this. Guys, I've been knowing about this shit since I was 22 years old. I've been reading about this stuff since I was a kid. I asked Big Mama. She didn't believe me. How long it took Big Mama to take the red pill?
What, about 4 years?
4 years. It wasn't until 4 years ago she started finally believing me. Because you can see it, right? You can see it.
Joey Moss, I've been screaming this for 4 years now. Changing of the guard, a
people-
new world implementing the Antichrist beast system. Keep telling them the truth, brother.
People are waking up, guys. People are waking up.
Only 80 people died in San Antonio
San Antonio from what?
from COVID.
80 people in all of San Antonio died. More people probably died of flu. Guys, think about that. More people died of flu probably in San Antonio than COVID. You just don't hear about it. And I know you people, well, my mom died of this. And look, I apologize. I'm sorry that this is sounding insensitive. She was probably sick anyway. All the numbers have come out. All the numbers have come out. They've all said the same thing. They're labeling, and if you die of cancer, you die in a car accident, you get a gunshot wound, you got COVID. But most of the people dying of COVID were already on their last leg. They had a compromised immune system. They were
Old,
if they
super
caught
old.
super old. If they caught a cold, or if they caught the flu, they would have died anyway. So it's not being insensitive. It's the facts, right? You can't lie against the facts, and it's life. So, and I'm telling you all this because you need to wake the fuck up, guys. They're playing us. They're playing all of us, and they're gonna go and they're gonna do this shit again. And they're gonna try to put us all in our house for another 6 months, wreck more, have an economy, and say, hey, you can't leave your house until you get this nice vaccine. I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm not doing it.
You have an immune system.
That's what you have an immune system for. How did we make it hundreds of thousands of years as human beings? And all of a sudden now, we can't make it without this vaccine that has to be taken by all of us, right? So, anyway, guys, we're going to be talking about stuff like this. I'm going to have a lot of influential people on my lives because I've got the software set up now to bring on people live. And we're going to bring on men, women, black, white, Indian, Korean, like any color, race. It's not going to be anything about any particular race subject. Like, we're going to talk about everything to give you guys massive value. Massive value. We're going to talk about anything and everything pertaining to current events, real estate, entrepreneurship, business, you name it, right? So any questions, Patty?
They're all just agreeing with you.
So if you don't like it, if you feel like, Chris, I've been following you for real estate, listen, I've been talking about real estate for 4 years straight. I've been doing a live to 2 lives per week. I have over 175 videos on YouTube. If you want me to keep talking about real estate, go to my YouTube channel, watch my YouTube stuff. I'm sick of talking about just real estate, guys. I'm an entrepreneur. I would say I'm an avid learner of history. I'm a seeker of knowledge. And I want to know about stuff. I don't want to be told what to think. I want to look at different perspectives. I want to come up with my own opinion. And I think most of you guys on here are pretty smart and want to do the same thing. I'm sick of the lies. I'm sick of the manipulation. I'm sick of the deceit from the mainstream media. And I'm not being quiet about it no more. Because if you talk to the average Joe, the majority of people in this country know what the fuck's going on and know this is a big scam. And they know they're being conned and they don't appreciate it and they want their country back, right? That's the hardcore facts of the matter. I'm unapologetic about it. If you think I'm a conspiracy theorist, keep going by your toilet paper, keep wearing your mask, and get in line to get your vaccination soon, and we'll see how well that works out for you. Okay?
I don't want to know.
What?
I'm not getting a vaccine.
You're not getting a vaccine, Big Mama? Make sure you pick up your shirts. I got a bunch of cool, check that out, Real Estate Investor. And we got Chris Rood on the back. Can you see that? Yep, chrisrood.com. We got a bunch of cool hats. We're going to probably start selling you guys a bunch of swag.
We don't have a bunch of cool hats yet.
We don't have hats. We have a bunch of shirts.
We have a bunch of shirts.
Tons of shirts. But we're going to get you guys some opportunity
Somebody
to buy
mentioned in the comments about Skeleton. We're just waiting on the right timing to do it. We're considering in Charleston. So it'll be towards the end of the year. But
yep.
Yeah.
But guys, make sure you invest in things that are making money right now, that are going to actually hold their wealth. You guys that are buying freaking shit that just has no store of wealth, right? Use your dollars, use your money to, listen, this is what, I'm going to tell you what I invest in. You guys all know I invest in real estate. That's a given. I do lives all the time. Mobile home parks and apartments, and I still buy a few single family homes and short-term vacation rentals, preferably mobile home parks. However, I do store my stuff in things that have a value. It's all about supply and demand, right? I buy classic vehicles, right? I've got 3 classic automobiles. That's going to hold its value in a crisis. I buy old World War II antiques, right? Why do I buy World War II antiques? Because they're treasures. They only made so many of them, and they're not. It's like I said, supply and demand. I want to buy things that are rare, right? Rare. You guys going and buying. What's some of the shit I see people buying? Like that's just ridiculous. Unless you got, okay, listen. I'm not against gold and silver. I'm really not against gold and silver, but I don't think you should be buying gold and silver unless you have a lot of money. A lot of money. I used to have a bunch of silver. If I store a lot of my money too in guns, antique guns, antique automobiles, rifles. Things that hold their value. Historically, all these things over time appreciate, right? Stop buying shit that depreciates, right? If you do these things over time, you're gonna, because listen, the money they printed, we're gonna have 2 things that are gonna happen. We're gonna have either massive inflation or massive deflation, right? I'm pretty sure we're gonna have some inflation before we're gonna have deflation. We'll probably have a bunch of inflation, then some deflation. They just printed, what are we at, like $27 trillion in debt now? PPP loans are about to run out. So we're gonna get we're probably gonna get another massive run. The stock market's been propped up again. Who knows? We may have, things may be good for another 3 or 4 years because they printed so much money. And as far as I can tell, from what I'm reading, the Federal Reserve said they're gonna just keep printing money. But understand, there's a price to pay. We are Venezuela in the making. We are Argentina in the making. We are Zimbabwe in the making. There's no way around it. There's so many unfunded liabilities in this country. If you look at all the unfunded off-book liabilities from the federal government, it's around $203 trillion, guys. $203 trillion. Is no way that can be paid back. There's not enough GDP coming in to ever pay that back. We have to press the reset button. So if you're all in cash, if you got a bunch of cash, I would diversify into real estate. You know, stocks and bonds. I'm not a big stock and bond guy. I don't know enough about that, but I like classic cars. Historically speaking, they've held their value because they're rare, right? There's only so many of them. Classic artifacts from ancient wars. I like to put my money in there. I like to put my money in and guns and ammunition and storable food, right? Those, because I'd rather buy storable food, especially me having 5 kids, than have a bunch of gold and silver. I can't eat gold and silver. And when you buy a bunch of storable foods, it doesn't make you a prepper. It makes you, it's no different than buying fucking insurance, right? You buy car insurance, you buy life insurance, but it's fucking life insurance you can eat and feed your kids with. We have a fucking Zimbabwe. We have something that happens in like Venezuela. I know it's crazy to think that, but it happens. It happens. It's gonna happen. Like, unless they come up with some crazy thing to wipe, the whole world would have to come up together and say, hey, let's go ahead and just wipe out everybody's debts. The banks would have to all come up together. I'm talking about the world banks, the IMF, the Federal Reserve. All of them would have to come together in conjunction with every sovereign nation, say, hey, we're going to forgive all the national debt across the world. We're going to press reset and start over. But guess what? They're not going to do that. There's no money in that for them. They want us to pay them all back on money they printed out of thin air that they didn't create. Like, how is money created, guys? Think about that. Ask yourself this: how is money created? Money is created by creating value in the marketplace, an exchangeable service of value that you can trade. The banks print money, and I don't mean I got a lot of banks, bank friends on here probably follow me that lend me money. I'm not talking about your local banks, because they actually take deposits and lend that money out at a higher interest to make profits and provide a service. I'm talking about where do they get their money from too. I'm talking about the big banks, the Federal Reserve. They print digital credit out of thin air, backed by nothing, and lend it to all the banks, lend it to the federal government at interest. What value? Why can't I just say, hey, I want to be the new Federal Reserve. I want to start lending money to everybody in the country. You see? That's what most of you guys don't understand. If you don't understand that whole concept, you need to read The Creature from Jekyll Island. Breaks it all down. There's a lot of cool, I don't want to say cool, very manipulating, very crazy stuff that you don't even know about. Henry Ford once said, if the American public, Henry Ford, the guy that created Ford Motor Company, said if the American public realized how the bank prints money out of thin air, they would be revolting in the streets. But the average person just has no clue. The average person watches Kardashians, the average person watches MTV, the average person's on drugs, average person's on prescription drugs, smoking weed, and they don't give two shits, right? Their freedoms are being usurped right now. We are headed down a road of no return, and that's all doom and gloom, but fuck, I mean, I'm calling for what it is. I'm not fucking sugarcoating it. I'm not going to pretend to not act like I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't exist. And I'm not going to lie about how I feel because it upsets a certain group of people that maybe follow me. Fucking follow me. I don't give two shits. I'm worried about my 5 kids. I got 5 kids, dude. I want to leave this world in a better place than when I came into it. And I want my kids to be in better shape because of it. Because I taught them what's right and wrong, how the economy works, how you can make an honest to God living of working your ass off and starting a business in the greatest country in America and actually do something with your life instead of being manipulated, lied to, and fraudulently and intentionally manipulated to crash the economy, lose all your money through either a crash or inflation or civil wars or whatever it may be, right? You guys are not thinking about this because you haven't went through that and you think it won't happen in the States. Guys, America's already went through a civil war. America's already went through a revolutionary war. There's civil wars that break out all over the world. There's collapses that happen all over the country, all over the world. You're not paying attention because you live in a la-la land of the American horse and pony show we got going on where everybody plays sports and gets drunk on the weekend and doesn't pay attention to current events. Right? That's the honest to God truth. Now, if you can't handle that, you think I'm a conspiracy theorist? Fuck it, I'll take it. If it makes me a conspiracy theorist because I read, I research, and I look instead of I look at things and I actually think about what's going on instead of being told what's going on and not lied to. If that makes me a crazy person, hey, fuck it, I'll take it. I'd rather be that crazy person that knows what's going on, that I can maneuver and get out of this tidal wave of craziness that's going on, than be a freaking useful idiot. Because most of the people on this planet that are even walking around with masks, rioting, fucking burning down stores are fucking useful idiots. They don't even know what they're doing. They're just doing it because they're told to do it, and they don't know what the end game is. The end game is freaking martial law, followed by a collapse of the government, followed by the rollout of more control through socialism and communism. That's the game, guys. Research it, read about it. I'm not going to give you all my sources. I read books upon books. I research, and I listen to way smarter people than me. I'm not that smart. I'm smart enough to know that I don't know, and I listen to people that do know. That's my secret, guys. And if you're not doing the same damn thing, I feel an ethical obligation to come on and spill my heart into you guys and tell you this, because if I don't, I would be doing you an injustice. I ain't got nothing for you to sell. Well, I do have something I want to sell. I still want you to buy my course, and I still want you to hire me as your coach. So that would be completely dishonest with you if I wouldn't tell you that. But I honestly do care about my freedom. I care about my family. I care about your family. I don't care if you're black, white, Chinese, green, or purple. Dude, if you're a good person and you got good moral compass and good character and you just have good intentions, you want to help people, dude, I like you. I don't care if you're black or blue, right? If you're a fucking alien, which I wouldn't be fucking surprised now if the aliens come from different planet on the TV and that's the new scare tactic, I wouldn't be surprised that's the next fucking hoax, right? But, and if you're a nice alien and you come down, you shake my hand and hey, and you're not a fucking asshole, hey, I like you too. But anyway, guys, any questions, Mama?
I mean, a lot of people are agreeing with you. They like the fact that you're talking about it. They talked about a podcast, which we've talked about that before.
I thought about doing a podcast, guys, but I can do a podcast from here. I'm going to start bringing on people. There's applications now that I can bring on people and interview them from Facebook. And I've got the most followers on Facebook. I get the most engagement. I mean, I'm getting 15, 16,000 views on my lives. And we're going to start bringing on. So if you have a friend, listen right here. If you could do me a favor, if you've got a friend, tag a friend in this, tell them I like this. I'm going to start bringing on people every week. We're going to do shows. You know, I've been doing shows like this for the past 4 years on Sundays. We'll probably keep it the same time and place Sunday, anywhere between 4 and 6 Central. We'll go live. And we'll go live from here. I'll bring on a special guest to talk about current events. We're going to bring on I'm talking heavy hitters, guys that are like super smart. I'm not going to bring anybody that's stupider than me. Tell you right now, I will not, I repeat myself, I will not bring on anybody that's stupider than me. They're going to be smarter than me. They're going to be doing either better business, bigger business, more real estate, more in the know with political events, people that are, you know, up to date with, you know, the body, doctors, health and fitness, mind, body, spirit, real estate, business, politics. We're going to talk about it all. I'm not gonna, you know, shortchange my platform with you guys because I want to add value to you guys. I'm going to bring on all kind of people, right? So we're going to do it from here, and it'll get uploaded onto YouTube also. I don't necessarily think I have to do it on iTunes. I know to have a podcast, you have to upload it into iTunes. Does anybody know the difference between me doing a podcast versus me just going live right here and bringing on special guests every weekend?
Chris needs basic. He's not a tech whiz. He needs basic.
I'm a basic kind of dude. You know, keep it simple, right?
You're already so busy. So.
Yeah, like if I got to think about stuff like that, like I pay people to do that stuff for me. Just give me the basics. Like, you know, let me do real estate deals. And I can, you know, let me start businesses. Let me try to make money. Let me create value in the marketplace. All the technical stuff, I'll leave it to you smarter guys, because I ain't that smart. But in it, does anybody know the difference between having a podcast on here and just going live like I've been doing and bringing on people via these applications like Yardstream and uploading onto YouTube after, versus just going, and I'm going to do Zoom too. We could probably do a Zoom and it'll be shared on Facebook. And yeah, and just doing that model in YouTube versus just doing iTunes where we do a podcast. Because I like being interactive. The problem with a podcast is you guys are not on live and you can't ask questions on a podcast, right? It's just me and another guy talking. So I feel like it's way more interactive if I have you guys on with the you know, the person I'm interviewing. It's way more interactive, especially if I'm on Zoom, which we may go to Zoom. Right, and then share it to Facebook. We're gonna try different things, right? So, any answers to that, Patty?
Well, Kevin made a good point. Like, people like to label conspiracy theorists like they're some idiot, or they're less than, or they're stupid. And he says, "I'll wear my badge with honor."
No shit.
Yeah, because but they said it was a word created
Yep.
to make people look like they were stupid.
The,
But really, that's
the
a smart one.
word conspiracy theorist was actually made up by the CIA after Kennedy was assassinated in '63, because the overwhelming majority of the public thought it was an inside job, it was a coup d'état, and that the narrative didn't fit the reality of what they said happened on the mainstream media, with Oswald being the only lone gunman from the book depository building from the 6th floor that killed Kennedy. It was mathematically impossible for that to happen, and most people are not going to believe that shit. That was one of the biggest false flags in fucking human history. They took Kennedy out because he was doing what Trump did, guys. Kennedy was doing what Trump's doing. He's fucking draining the swamp. He was going to abolish the Federal Reserve. He was going to get rid of the CIA.
What's the speech that they can look up? Because
There's a speech that Kennedy did a month before they assassinated him, talking about secret societies, secret negotiations.
On BitChute, I think you can search.
Well, I think it's still on YouTube. It might have got taken off of YouTube. He talked about all these secret societies, what they're doing, and how they're hiding and manipulating us. And they're using the media, they're using the CIA, and they're using... And listen, guys, if I get killed like in the next couple of days or weeks or months, I love my life, I love my wife, I love my kids. I'm not... I didn't commit suicide, just so you know. All these, you know, it seems like you got these people that come out and start saying stuff.
Epstein.
Yeah. Neither did Epstein, you know, if he's even if he's dead, right? I'm not 100% sure that was even, that might have been staged. It just so happened Epstein's guy that did the autopsy was the same guy that did Kennedy, and is the same guy that did George Floyd. Wink, wink. You think that's a coincidence, guys? Come on, man. Come on, wake up,
And his
guys.
money went all
The
to the
problem with
Virgin
American people is that we're such good people by heart, and we're so genuine, and we think, and we have good intentions, that we think that our government, the media, and the powers that be would never do such a thing, right? The bigger the lie, the easier it is to get you guys to believe that. I love when it's like that outside, Mama. The thunder and lightning.
Came out of nowhere.
We got a big thunderstorm coming through. I love the sound of nature, but...
Somebody did say something really good.
What?
Brian says, dude, you have read H.R. 6666 that passed in May. I was just posting it on my Facebook page. C-19 Tracing Act. The UN is eliminating our police under the cover of Strong Cities Initiative.
Yep.
Why are
I
they
read that.
eliminating the police? Because they're coming for the guns, and H.R. 666, can you believe
Okay.
the blatant evil? Will enable them to remove people from their families, patriots, and anyone fighting the New World Order. This is a big move, man.
Yep.
I'm with you, and I'm feared for my children.
Yep. Two things I want to talk to you about that he just said. What's his name that just said that?
Brian?
Brian, thanks for talking about that, my brother. Two things I want to talk about. First of all, they want to get rid of the cops. Let me tell you why. Because most cops are patriots. And they're not going to go down with what they're trying to do. The cops are not going to stand down and let all this crazy shit go on and let them take over our country. That's why they want to get rid of the cops. Don't let them fool you. It ain't got nothing to do with all these cops supposedly killing all these white people. It's not, black people, right? That's not it. That's a smokescreen, a cover for them taking out the cops. So when they do roll in, the UN, listen, look, it's an article. He just said it's UN number 666 HR, whatever.
666.
They are rolling out the UN to come and take out and disarm people that don't go with the new agenda. And that they know that the cops are not going to allow that to happen because it's unconstitutional, for one,
Oh,
right?
there's already cops that are standing down because
Yep.
they refuse
To do, yeah.
to do that.
Secondly, guys, there's an agenda to break up the family. I want to talk to you guys about something. Now, this may sound crazy. My little 4-year-old was playing on his iPad, and he came up to me and my wife and said, "Mama, what did you say about I want to join the Illuminati." He said that, and I'm like, "Fuck it, what the fuck?" What's
Told the babysitter
he
that,
told the babysitter that too. I pick up his iPad and it's like a cartoon, and they're talking about the Illuminati. I'm like, why is my 4-year-old from a cartoon? The cartoon's talking about the Illuminati. Why the hell? So, and you put on the TV these days. I was telling my wife that, like, just watch TV. If you watch TV from when I was growing up in the 80s, everything has changed. Everything is how can I say this without being too ugly? everybody, like these shows, everybody cheats on their wives. If they don't cheat on their wives, they're gay. Everybody has mixed races of marriage, which I'm not against that. If you want to marry a Asian guy, I don't really care. That's your prerogative. But I mean, most people don't do that. Most people marry into their race color. Everybody's a transgender kind of guy. Everybody's on prescription drugs, and it's okay to smoke weed and cheat on your wife, and vice versa. That is the new television shows. That there's a reason why they're programming all of us to do that, because they want you to think it's okay and that's normal to do all those things. That shit never went on when I was a kid. When watching TV, I never saw shit like that watching TV. Never, ever. I watched the fucking Andy Griffin show with my parents, right? I watched Bill Cosby's what was it? That was a good show. I watched the Cosby Show. I watched Three's Company. I watched G.I. Joes. I watched He-Man. Like, I don't know. Like, things have changed so much.
Programming.
It's programming, right? They want to program you to think that all that is normal, right? Just like you heard on TV when all this Rona stuff was going on, the new normal. Every time I turn on the TV, the new normal. Everything's the new normal because they're programming. They keep saying that. They want you to think that the new normal is nobody goes to work. We all have a baseline of income that they keep printing money to where we just have enough money to eat, and that's it. And it's a way to slow down the economy. It's a way to possibly get Trump out. I'm sorry, guys. Like, this is the hardcore facts that I see. This is not this is not my opinion. This is just what it maybe is my opinion, but it's what I see, and and it's my overall. Just watching what's going on and observing. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that shit ain't right now, and we're all being played. We're all being conned. We're all being deceived. Okay. Patty, I can't see it. Come back, my little babies. Where y'all going? They probably shouldn't jump on that trampoline, Patty, with the rain and the thunder. Babies, y'all come back inside. What's up, Mark Stray?
It's
What's
lightning,
up,
Aniston, and
What's
thunder.
up,
I
Devin?
wouldn't be out there.
So anyway, I'm glad you brought that up. The guy that brought
They said most cops are ex-military, and most of them are, they said,
That's right. Most.
nationalists.
Yeah. Most of these. That's the key word. Listen, nationalism is the key word. Nationalism is making a revival, guys. Around the world, nationalism, being proud to be be a part of the U.S., being proud to be Mexican, being proud
American
to be German,
dream.
being proud to be European, being proud to be from Belarus, being proud to be from frickin' France, right? There's nothing wrong with being a proud white man, being a proud black man, being a proud Mexican. If I'm a freaking Mexican, I'm gonna be the proudest freaking Mexican I could possibly be. If I'm a black guy, I'm gonna be the most proudest black guy.
Y'all better get inside.
Be loud and proud for your skin color. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being proud to be from the USA. There's nothing wrong with being proud to be Canadian. But they don't want that. They want you to all be the same. And they want you to all fight amongst one another so they can control us. That's all this is about. Like, it's all freaking horse shit. But
I said it's gonna get worse come November.
it's gonna get really worse. Just get ready. It's coming. Like, it ain't gonna slow down. Like, it's gonna be one thing after another until November. And if Trump gets in again, don't be shocked if they try to do something astronomically crazy to do something to just try to overthrow the country. It is what it is, guys. If you're watching this and you think this is all bullshit, I really don't give two shits. I'm not an idiot. I've studied enough world history. I've studied enough politics. I know you never come on and hear me talk about this, but I'm not some fucking just useful idiot that just all he does is study real estate. I've been studying world history since I was 22 years old. I mean, I can show you the books. Like, this is a bigger passion for me probably than real estate, right? So understand what's going on. Know we're in for some crazy times ahead. Know that you gotta stay awake during all these times, and don't be manipulated into getting away from what's really going on, so that a few super rich billionaires can get what they want, right? All right. Any other questions, Mama? But guys, if you have friends and family that need to hear messages like this, tag them in this. hit the like button, hit the share, hit the subscribe, whatever you're hitting down there, and we're going to start bringing on people. If you have some people maybe that you would like me to interview, I'll reach out to them and get them on my platform, and we're going to get them to come and share their story, just to get people, like I feel a, and like I said, an ethical obligation just to talk about this, because it's very pertinent right now, right? You hear all that thunder? That's awesome. And we're going to get a bunch of people to come on here and talk the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, so to speak, with no agenda, no false narrative, no money behind it to push a false narrative, just the absolute truth. Because the problem with media these days, it's all influenced
Kyle says,
by money.
interview Alex Jones.
Kyle.
It's not your
Alex Jones, man, I don't know. Alex Jones is...
He's too intense for me.
Alex Jones, I don't know if I can get him on my little bitty show.
He scares me. Every time you listen to him, like, he scares me. He talks too loud.
Alex Jones got like 5 million followers. I guess we could.
Yeah, we're not at that point.
Yeah, we're not at that point yet. But hey, who knows, right? But
what's your other dude from Mexico?
my other dude, the Dollar Vigilante. I could probably get him on. I could definitely probably get him on. But we need to get people on.
Ray Dalio.
Ray Dalio. Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to a bunch of my network. I know I can get some people on of pretty big influence to give you guys some massive value and to talk about what's really going on, right? What's really going on. And we're gonna there's not gonna be any wolves pulled over your head. It's gonna be straight, real, utter content and the truth. So any other questions, Mama? Anyway, guys,
no, a lot of people just
we're gonna have to wrap it up with some real estate stuff, because I promised all the communists that follow me.
Well, one person did ask if you were still buying single family homes, or are you just focusing on multifamily?
I can't say I'm not actively buying them, but I am buying 2 right now. But I'm gonna probably sell them. We're buying them, and then we're gonna throw them back on MLS and sell them. So to tell you, I am buying. I mean, to flip, yes. To flip and wholesale, yes. But I'm buying a couple of them that are rental properties. We're going to just keep them and rent them out and throw them back on MLS. I mean, I'm trying to scale my mobile home portfolio. And there's nothing wrong with starting with single family homes. I don't care what any guru tells you. You know, I don't agree with a lot of big influencers that they're just at a different level telling you shouldn't buy single family homes. If you can't afford to buy multi-million-dollar multifamily, there's nothing wrong with buying single family homes if you know what you're doing. And that's a key word, if you know what you're doing, right?
Don't try to do it without a mentor. Don't be like us.
Don't be like me. I was an idiot. I lost I'm still losing my ass off right now from houses I bought 6 years ago that I had no business buying. What?
Aiden just posted. Aiden on there is our son. He just posted, "Stay woke, people."
Aiden, that's my son. Aiden said something prolific the other day. He said, "Daddy, don't be a seagull, be an eagle." And I was
and we're like, damn, that's good.
I was like,
shirt.
Damn, I think I'm gonna coin that. Don't be an eagle. Don't be a seagull, be an eagle. Damn, is that not prolific coming from
That's his homeschool learning.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
15-year-old. Here, put that up, Mama. But anyway, guys, at the end of the day, you can't take it too seriously. I don't sit here and ponder over it. Like, it doesn't consume my day so much where like I turn into a crazy person. That's the key thing. Like, you got to be rational about it. You got to be grounded.
Why aren't you turning into a crazy person? Because you prepared.
I've been prepared. I've been knowing this shit's gonna go on for long. I've been reading about this and studying and research.
I think that's why he likes to tell y'all, because he feels like the need to let you know that you need to prepare. He doesn't want to scare you, but if you just prepare in the right way, then you can hedge your bets and get past it.
The key is there's massive change coming. Massive change. Give me a drink pad. Massive change. If the elites and the power structure at B gets what they want, massive change. Don't think there's not. Now, if Trump gets what he wants, I still think there's gonna be massive change, because they're not gonna just give up their power easily. They're gonna fight, and there's gonna be a I need to say there's gonna be a huge fight. There may be a war. There may be. Typically, you know, we've went so long without having, you know, big war, although we did have the Afghanistan war. They typically start a war every 10 years or so, but we haven't had a big one since World War II or since the 40s, right? And typically, when shit like this happens, and you have a lot of political structures, different factions fighting, it ends up turning into a bigger war on a global scale versus a more of a continent or a country. And that's what happened during World War One, and that's what happened during World War Two. And I hate to say that, but just reading up on World War One and World War Two, this is the exact thing that happened before those wars started. There was just a power structure that were fighting over power, mostly communists versus capitalists versus fascists, right? And that's pretty much what's going on right now, guys. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a stupid coon ass from South Louisiana. What do I know? Right, Mama?
Trump is on what side, do you think?
I think Trump's a nationalist. Some people say he's part of the deep state. I don't 100% agree with that. If he was, he wouldn't have just defunded the WHO. And he wouldn't be actively trying to get people back to work, right? He wouldn't have been getting all these manufacturing jobs from China back to the States if he was part of it doesn't, you see all these people say that are too conspiracy theorists. I don't agree with everything that they talk about, but there's no way, if Trump were a part of the deep state, he would not be doing those things I just mentioned, right? No possible way. I think he's a nationalist. I think he's made his money. The guy's worth, I think, what his net worth is $4 billion. Although he's the only president in standing history that has ever lost money during his presidency. He's the only president that doesn't take a paycheck. His net, I think he lost $1 billion in net worth since the start of all this because he doesn't pay it. He's not in it for the money. How are all these politicians that get into office worth $1 million? And when they get out, look at Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is probably worth $500,000 when she got in office. Now the woman's worth $200 million. Look at the Clintons. Clintons got into office when they were finished with office. I think she wrote a book. They were broke. Now the Clintons are worth, I think, what was the last time I checked, $300 million they're worth. How is that possible, right? If politicians, what we need is we need people like Trump. We need entrepreneurs in office, because we need people that don't need the money. That's the biggest problem.
Because they don't have to be a puppet.
People get into politics for money and not for the right reasons. We need entrepreneurs who know how to run a business, who don't need money, who already have money to run for office, right? So if you watch this and you inspired to run for office and you already got money and you don't need to get paid, running for office was supposed to be, you're supposed to be a public servant. It's turned into a business and a game of getting rich now. And that's why the country is corrupt to the T, is because people are getting into office for the wrong reasons, guys. There's no reason Nancy Pelosi should have been, the Senate majority for the past, 30 years?
She's a fucking clown.
And then how do you even take her seriously?
She's a clown.
I listened to her and I think she has, and I think she's slow.
She's off.
She's off. She looks like she's so full of prescription drugs half the time. Like she's been so full of Prozac and Xanax. I don't even know. This is why, we have a bunch of psychopaths that rule the world, that have all these billionaires, and then you have a bunch of useful idiots, other politicians, who are the puppets of the billionaires who run the actual world, who the globalists, and then they make all these people that are idiot politicians, they get rich because they do exactly what the globalists want, the billionaires want. And this has been the cycle now for the longest time. If there was no money in politics, that would solve all the problems, guys. If they made it illegal to profit as a politician, we would get our country back. We would get the world back. But the problem is, the country is ran by a bunch of psychopathic idiots that are in office to gain power through manipulation, through handouts, through legislation, and they're there to make all their other buddies rich, right? Let's call it for what it is. And if you think I'm full of shit, you can just say, hey, Chris, I think you're lying. I think you're full of shit. But please tell me where I am full of shit, because I've studied this long enough and I've watched this for long enough to know that most politicians, not all, there's a lot of good politicians, they don't give the real true politicians like a Ron Paul, somebody that actually speaks the truth, that wants to abolish the Federal Reserve, somebody that actually wants the country to do well, who has common sense, you know, fiscally conservative ideas that actually work, that don't want to spend more money than they take in, that don't want to bankrupt the country, that have ideas and policies that would actually work. When Ron Paul would do his politicking across the country to try to get votes, he would fill stadiums up. 30, 40,000 people would go. Hillary would go and do her speeches and get 4,000 or 5,000 people. So I think it's all rigged, guys. I think a lot of this shit is rigged. It's a show. I'm even shocked that Trump even got in the first time, to be honest with you. And I think if you notice in the inauguration of Trump, when they first inaugurated him,
They were pissed.
they were so, if you watch her and Obama's faces, they were so upset, like they could not believe it. How is it possible? And I'm thinking to myself, why are they so upset? I get like they're upset because she wanted to win, but I think they tried to rig it. I think they felt like they had it so rigged. There's no way he could win, but they had such an overwhelming amount of people that voted for Trump that even though they cheated, he still won. And that's the only reason they could be so upset. And I could be wrong. I'm not saying that I know that for a fact, but think about that for a second. And at this time, I hope he wins. I don't see how he's not, but the amount of corruption, and I think they're going for the jugular this time. They're going to try to do everything they can to not let him get in, up and including trying to start this next civil war with Antifa, funded by George Soros, using Black Lives Matter as the frontman, and the Black Lives Movement is being conned and manipulated. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with people. Yeah, are there some shitty ass cops? Absolutely, there's shitty ass cops everywhere, but there's also some great cops. We cannot generalize just because one white cop kills a black man. I got arrested by a black cop last year, guys, for speeding.
He was going 81, 1 mile over the speed limit, going to a soccer tournament.
With all my kids, I got arrested by a black guy. And it was the craziest thing because they wanted me to give money.
$750 cash right now, or we're arresting you right now.
Right now. And I thought it was like a scam. I said, it was the craziest thing. It was in Jeanerette. It was in Jeanerette.
No, Patterson. Don't
Louis.
drive through Patterson. Bunch of crooked people over there.
They tricked me into going to the office and they arrested me after I gave them the money. Oh no, we didn't have all the money.
We gave them half.
We gave them $500 because you couldn't pull more than $600 at a time out of the ATM, and it wouldn't let us pull any more. So we pulled $600 out, gave it to them, and then they still arrested me because we didn't give the whole $700.
Yep.
Can you believe that?
It was a gross situation.
Craziest thing. But I'm telling you this to make a point. Did I scream, "Oh my God, white lives matter, I'm being persecuted"? No. Did I scream, "You're doing this to me because I'm white"? No. I knew I was speeding, obviously. The cop wasn't I don't think the cop was a bad cop. I think he was just doing his job. He even called into his chief and like, "Hey, what do I do? This guy, he's got all his kids with him. He's headed to a soccer tournament, and he's fighting me on." And I was arguing with him because it was stupid. I was like, "Dude, just let me go. I mean, I'll pay you the thing." And he's like, "We'll pay our ticket and go. I got to get to the soccer tournament. I got all my kids with me. We're gonna be late." And sure enough, they still arrested me. But my point is, there is bad cops everywhere killing every race, color, and creed, guys. I just saw a video of a white cop shooting a white drunk guy. Like, it was gross, like absolutely gross, but you'll never see it on the mainstream media. As a matter of fact, those two black twins posted it. Those two black, I forgot what they're two black, it looks like they're black twins that they're very conservative, and they were talking about it, showing the difference between, Black Lives Matter and White Lives Matter. And how we're being conned, right? How we're all being conned. And that's the whole thing, guys. We're all being conned. Me, you, black, white, Chinese, they want us all fighting with one another. Mm-hmm. If you don't see that, you're blind. Stop, turn off the TV, go outside, and go talk to a black man. Go talk to the average white man. Go talk to has there been some, black persecution in this country? Absolutely. I'm not gonna sit here and disagree with. Are some black people targeted because they maybe look suspicious? Absolutely. But there's more white people being killed by cops than black people. And that's just the honest to God truth. So before we all lose our cool, you have to look at statistics, guys. Statistics don't lie. Okay? I'm talking with some, some black people, and they, Chris, you'll never understand. You have white privilege, and maybe I just don't quite understand. But I've been arrested by a black man. I've been picked on by bullies. But to say that that you are all your whole thing is that because you're black you're mistreated, guys. Every race and creed on this freaking planet has been mistreated.
Every person in their lifetime will be mistreated.
Yeah, I mean, look what the Protestants did to the Catholics and vice versa. Look what the Romans did to the Christians. Look what the British did to the Indians. They killed millions of Indians, right? Look what the white Europeans came to America and did to the Indians. And I'm talking about India, what the British did to India, right? Look what the white Europeans did to the Indians when they came from Europe. Freaking slaughtered them. And I've got a lot of Indian blood in me. My mom's an Indian. My mom's a Native American Cherokee. But you're not going to see me go around saying, "Hey, woe is me," right? I'm disenfranchised because I've got some Native American blood in me, right? Yeah, you just won't see it, right? Because you have to, at the end of the day, take full responsibility, guys. When you don't give full responsibility, you don't take full responsibility for your life, and you give it and you elect somebody else as full responsibility, and you say, "I'm the victim," that means you're telling everybody that you take no responsibility for your life and that you're a complete effect of everybody else, right? So at the end of the day, is there racism? Yes, but barely. I'm sorry, I'm gonna call it for what it is. It's not that bad. And some people may disagree and come and bash me on here. I'm sorry. I've got black friends. I've got white people that all they talk to is black. It's not that bad. But the media wants you to think it's so bad that we all hate each other, and they're doing that for a reason, to start a civil war. If we're all fighting one another, then they can manipulate us and they can pull a wool over our head. It's bait and switch. It's Clower and Piven. Look it up, Clower and Piven. They've been doing this for a long time. If you don't understand what that means, if you don't understand what a false flag means, if you don't understand what Clower and Piven means, I don't have time to tell you what it is. Look it up. They've been doing it for a long, long time. When you have the richest people on the planet that own all the media, the biggest corporations, and all the biggest banks on the planet, you can manipulate and control economies, people's minds, and their future, right? If you put on the TV and all you watch is hate-filled racism, rioting, it makes you think. They want you
to fall into the trap.
Yeah, they want you. Listen, don't fall for the trap, because it's a big trap. It's a huge trap. I'm not falling for it. Okay, I don't believe it. It's all bullshit, and we're being kind. And that was the whole point of this conversation. We're going to be giving you a massive value with stuff like this. I'm going to be bringing on black people, white people, Chinese, every race, religion, color, creed, entrepreneurs, real estate investors. We're going to reach out to the most successful people I know to give the honest to God truth, so America can get America back. You understand me? So America can get America back out of the hands of the globalists, the powers that be, and the super rich people that don't give two shits. They don't give two shits about black people, white people, Chinese people, anything. They're all about money, control, power, manipulation, and deceit. A lot of them are a bunch of pedophiles. A lot of them are a bunch of crazy people, psychopathic, crazy people. If you think that the overall agenda on this planet, even on this country, has good intentions. All these major corporations have good intentions towards you. I don't know what you're smoking, guys. We're on more prescription drugs. We have more suicides. We have more financial, upsets because of all the craziness. One out of 3 kids is on some type of psychotropic drug. More people on antidepressants. More people. I mean, all these kids, they got on Adderall. All these people that are lying to all of us. We're being kind, okay? And I don't care what you think about me. Maybe you say, you look differently. I don't care. Like, I'm not here to lie to you. I'm here to tell you the truth. I was one of those kids that got conned, or maybe my parents got conned at 6, 7 years old. They put me on Adderall and Ritalin, almost ruined my life. I got addicted to drugs because I was put on pretty much illegal crystal meth at 7, 8 years old. Have you looked into what Adderall and Ritalin is? Have you looked into what Xanax is? Have you looked into what Paxil, Prozac, Zoloft, all this shit really is? It's fucking poison.
Control stuff.
It's control stuff. It's to dumb you down. It's to make you stupid. We're being kind, guys. We're being kind.
You have to rise above that shit. Thank you.
So I'm kind of going off on a tangent right now, but I get passionate about this shit because you want to know how I really feel? You just heard it. Go back and listen to this live again. Tag a friend that needs to hear this. This is all bullshit that's going on right now. It's all about manipulation, and I'm not going to have it no more, and I'm not going to sit here and just pretend that it doesn't exist. We are being played. I'll see you guys on the next live. Peace.